Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are in the world. Welcome back. My name is Leachko, again, your co-host.
And I'm Ellie Spearman, your other co-host, and we're here with another episode of The Retail Lounge. Quick tidbit for everybody out there, if you'd like to be a part of this podcast or have any recommendations or suggestions, please let us know in the comments down below.
So we have a special guest on the podcast today, Jean-Didier Allongue, and he is the Senior Director of Store Design for Harry's, one of our clients, and he has been chosen to be a part of the American Builders Quarterly write-up and review. And Jean-Didier, I know you've been out of a handful of times, and you're such a inspiration, a great designer to a ton of people, and this was very appropriate for us to bring you on to learn more about you, about the industry, and just get your thoughts on things and some perspective. But it'd be great to understand a little bit more about you. And again, thanks for being on our podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you very much. Yes, it was a pleasure to talk to you. So I work at Harry's. It's funny you said the title of store design. Now we are global store design, so we oversee Harry's worldwide, which is awesome. And we are a small team, 6-7 people, but we are covering all the retailer, all the channel, all the geography for Harry's.
Awesome. And so we've read up on your background a little bit, and obviously the viewers and the listeners don't know. So if you can give us a little bit of background where you came from, it is star-studded. You got a lot going on. So it'd just be intriguing just to get a couple minutes of that.
Sure. Yeah. So kind of a little bit like a different parkour that some of my estimated colleagues here. I have a master's degree in industrial design from the National Design School in Paris. And I started my career by working at Renault, which is a car manufacturer, one of the top 10 car manufacturers in the world, and I was designing a ton of things for them. Their tractors for farm, onboard computers, redesigning some cars to be exported to India, a lot of things like that. I also work for the French Navy, doing interface in nuclear submarines with ergonomics and visibility and line of sight and those kind of things. And life is complicated. It's not a straight trajectory. It's met my wife, moved to the US, so I had to reevaluate, and I was very, very lucky to be hired by a company at the time that was called DCI Marketing, which was like one of the premier store design firm in the nation. And I've been very, very fortunate because they were looking for a different perspective, and they were looking for expanding their portfolio. Their original expertise was car. There was GM, Ford. Very, very, very corporate, and they had the opportunity to design for a small brand that nobody knew that was called Xbox. And Microsoft was launching like a game console, right? And they said, well, we need some young people to do that. And I was very lucky enough to be part of the team that launched Xbox at retail with DCI, and that's it. And from there, everything is one after the next. Left DCI, went to process display, became creative director. Then I was hired by a company out of Detroit called EWI Worldwide. Their background is exhibit.
Yeah,
it's like one of the 4 biggest exhibit firm in the country.
Yep.
They wanted to start a retail side of things. So I was like, hey, can you do the design for us? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? As long as we're there, right? So started that, and we're super lucky there. Also, a lot of work. Started the company, we were 5. When I left, we were 46. And we were lucky enough to be agency of record for HTC Phone, launched Microsoft Surface, relaunched Fiat in the US, launched Fisker car, and be the first physical retail firm to work with Amazon to launch the Kindle Fire in California.
Oh, interesting.
The first
Wow.
physical retail for Amazon ever built. That's my claim of fame. That's done by my team.
Wow. I mean, I would say too, also back to the Xbox, like you changed a lot of lives with Xbox
Oh
bringing
yeah.
it out.
Oh yeah.
You bet I changed mine.
Yeah, Xbox, I used to live on that when I was a kid. So
Oh, as we all did. It was a game changer, 100%. So.
pun intended.
Oh,
Oh man.
I remember being in a meeting with Bill Gates, and he was giving us one of those green signed Xbox.
Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool day.
Wow.
Talk about substantial. Seriously. Yeah. So we wanted to go ahead. Thank you so much for sharing your fantastic journey and all of your moments of fame there. 100%. Leaning into the retail a little bit more and your experience while we were researching some of these articles that are circulating regarding your work, what you've done, there were a few primary quotes that we pulled, but I'd like to start off with this bit. Product marketing or store design will fail if the mission does not run deeper than the aisle. I thought maybe we could start off chatting about that and how companies should think with this perspective and execute that with their retail representation.
Can you say it again? I'm sorry, you were cut off. I didn't hear what your question was.
Yeah, so the quote that we wanted to reference to start off with is product marketing or store design will fail if the mission does not run deeper than the aisle. Maybe we could start off talking about that and how companies should think with this perspective when working towards their retail appearance in store.
That's right. That's a good quote. Whoever say that is right. As you said, the complexity of what's going on at retail right now has evolved since the day we did Xbox.
Right.
It's a good example. If you wanted to buy an Xbox when you launch it, you had to go to Best Buy, to Sears, to Target and buy it. Right.
Right.
Now you have more option not to go to the store. And if you don't run deeper than the aisle and you don't reach customer with a meaningful message that make it worthwhile for them to take time out of their life, drive their car, get out of their house, and go in a strange place to pick a box out of a metal structure, you're not bringing anything that is a substantial value for them. And therefore, like all of us, and I'll be the first one to say, if it doesn't bring me something, I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So what is that deeper connection? So you can have an omni-channel chain that makes sense from the time that you get engaged online to the time that you will go to the store and behind.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened when you leave the store? How do we keep that journey? How do we keep that relationship? It can be also a specific commitment from the company that you work with, that you buy the product for, that you connect with at a personal level, and that you show that commitment to that environmental, whatever it is, vision to the purchase of their store. And therefore, the success of Trader Joe.
Yeah.
Trader Joe just has a different sell the same product, but the product that have a very strong perspective on what they are and how they are made and how they serve the country. And that's why you go to Trader Joe, it's always packed, right?
Right.
So that's kind of, I think that if you don't go deeper than just putting a product on the shelf, and you can do the best presentation that you can, as shiny and as blinky as you want,
Mm-hmm.
to me, you will may at best get a marginal lift for a short period of time, but certainly not, you will not build a brand.
Right.
So I guess to kind of tail into that, another quote that you've said too deals with crafted experiences. And I assume this is part of that, where you're trying to build a lasting experience for those walking into that store, literally, like you said, getting into their car, going and picking up that item and feeling a personal connection toward that. So after all these years of going through this, how do you prioritize and master that that building that craftsmanship of an experience?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So my dad was a cabinet maker, and he was a craftsman. He was a true craftsman. And what makes the difference between somebody that works in a factory and somebody that's a craftsman is the craftsman knows his customer and he connects with them. And that's where I say my team is a team of craftsmen. Is we connect with our customer, we know them, we have empathy, we really want to serve them and deliver what they are looking for and meet them where they are. We are no longer in any stretch of the imagination where a brand can dictate the way the customer will shop.
Mm-hmm.
We have to adapt of how the customer want to shop and deliver on that and know our customer. So I was mentioning that now we have that big title of global store design where we oversee over 50,000 stores worldwide, but we need to know every of those stores individually and deliver on the nuances of why people go shop to Morrison in the UK better than to Asda.
Right.
Why make them go to the next one? And how do we, while keeping our identity, which I would say would be our skill as a craftsman, we deliver on what they want to see in that particular location. So, and when I say our identity is our brand at Harris, we have a very strong brand. How do we supercharge our brand by knowing the space in which we are?
Right. Yeah. So to follow suit with that, then I have another question for you, Jean-Didier. What problems do you face currently in the retail market for brands like yourself, and how do you get around that? How do you troubleshoot utilizing your retail design philosophy as is now, you know, with the way trends are moving in store these days?
Right. I think there's a couple of things. It's velocity and density. Brands are coming in and out very, very quickly. Harris is what they call a unicorn, is an exception because we went in that CPG and we are still in that CPG and we will be in the CPG for the foreseeable future. And we build that brand. So but you have brands that come in and out. Shop at your market with short-term, what I will call like non-sustainable claim.
Yeah.
And that creates also the density. There's so many of those that how do you differentiate yourself throughout that clutter? Those are the challenges that we have, is how do we stay true to ourselves and remain true to our mission to our customer, and at the same time keep carving our space in store so we can deliver that message to our customer in the best possible way. So those are the challenges that we have, and that's solved by store design, by doing, a lot of effort on be able to be economically feasible, so we can be there a lot.
Right.
But at the same time, it's working with our partner and be a full-fledged partner with our retail team, with our strategy team, demand planning team, etc. So if and when we have those occasions that come up, we are ready to respond really quickly and meaningfully.
Right.
I know you guys are pretty unique when it came into coming into retail, especially for men's shaving. Are there any roadblocks that you hit along the way, or when it came to being innovative, showing that you guys are different and you're coming up with new ideas every single day, new branding and everything? How often are you hitting those roadblocks?
The laugh.
That's what I believe is success creates success. So
yeah,
what we do, it's like instead of trying to convince people that we are right, we show them that we are right. So we grease the wheel that want to turn, and then we use those as synergy dynamic to break in other places. So we have some retail partners that are super entrenched with our vision, with our brand, and let us do a lot of things and give us a lot of space and a lot of space. And then we go and we say, we did that there. Here are the number, here are the sales lift that we got. And the only difference between before and after is the store design impact that we had, and of course the awesome product of Aris, but the store design was that. And we always benchmark, by the way. If somebody has like, let's say 500 store, we always keep 25 with no store design, so we can benchmark, when we are not there.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that's a pretty strong argument. So when we say, the two most successful launch at CPG retail in Target history is Aris and Lumi.
Right.
Yeah, you can't argue with that, right?
Genuinely.
Yeah.
So I'm curious then if you could share a bit more insight on a specific project, if of course you're comfortable going there, where you experienced a profound impact, where, you worked on a project that met these criteria you have in your day-to-day philosophy through user experience. What met everything that you hold profound as like the goal point, the end game?
Yeah, the stars aligned. It was a perfect storm.
It was exactly what you anticipated.
Yeah. I think the upcoming project that we have at CVS, we have like a 3-year permanent end cap coming out there. In the beauty section with a shave, we'll be owning that shave space for Flamingo and Aris, so individual end cap. I think it was a perfect storm because it was a long-term commitment from the retailer to our brand, which is awesome, which we are so grateful for. We were able to really work with our partner to really craft something that's at the same time beautiful, meaningful, economically feasible, and that will for 3 years represent our brand and be able to be the vector for our brand. So we are so excited about that because CPG is a game of, as I say, velocity, where stuff turn a lot, and sometimes it's a little bit complicated to really have a long-lasting message.
Right.
So that one is great, and we have a ton of other example where we did some really good work. But I think this one is one of the places where we're so excited about it that now we will add light to the display. That will be a fully lit display.
Yeah.
To really emphasize our commitment and meet our customer where they want. We talk with them. They want light. We do light. Because that's the experience that you want. So we're excited about that.
Well, to add on to that, I know Joshua Leonard that works with you. He talked about how you guys love to go in a different direction, more muted tones, light navy, sky blue paired with pops of bright colors, orange and aqua. This is something that's kind of unexpected. That's the angle to take. So if you could speak on some of that, it kind of makes you stand out in the crowd per se, or how did you come to realize that was the way to move?
Totally. And that's exactly tying back with what we say. We don't want to go and gain do a short-term gain. We want to create a long-lasting impression. And Josh, 100% right on the design language that we choose for those units is sophistication, approachable. We don't want to be the upscale brand that people feel they cannot afford, because we're not. We have the best value in the market, but it's not because we have the best value that we don't have the most elevated product and packaging that you will find in the store. And we translated that, so we wanted to keep the star of the show to be the product, right?
Yep.
And the display around it to be a little bit the spotlight, just to bring it up a little bit, the hot sauce, if you wish, on the thing. And that's exactly what we did. There's no screaming, but there is a strong melody behind what we do.
I like that, the hot sauce. Add a little bit of the hot sauce.
Yeah, genuinely. So I'm curious then, how do you perceive the evolution of the retail world within the next decade? And, what are you doing and your team doing to prepare for these changes into the future?
Interesting. Interesting. I'm getting involved with the business side of things. So one thing that we did is paradigm shift in the organization of the team. Like that. Very honestly, I don't know of any other company that are organized that way. And we said, okay, if we want to serve our customer, we need to be long-term sustainable, right? And we need to be long-term an engine inside Harris Inc. to present our brand the best possible way. So what we did, we took design, store design, and we took supply chain, and we merged them together. We made one team. So what that gives us is we have full visibility from the first contact to the customer, let's say retailer A, to the moment that we deliver in store. This is the same team that's responsible for that. There is no pass the baton, you talk with somebody else, etc., etc. Why that's incredibly important is the vision never get lost. So the production manager that will work on that with the designer, with let's say Josh that you mentioned, are sitting side by side in the same room. There is not gimmick. So that's one of the first things that we foresee. Integration, vertical integration of store design to us is one of the main next step to create that long-term sustainability, because with the marketplace that is right now, with the volatility that is, and nobody can do 10-year prediction right now.
Right.
That's, if anybody does, I will be surprised.
You can't do that. Yeah.
You have to go back to what you know is true and what strategically you will know that you can apply and maintain for the foreseeable future. So when the landscape change from front of you, you're ready to fully embrace and act on it. So my guess is, personally, I think meaningless retail will keep declining. And retail of absolute necessity will still be there. There is no question asked. And what you will see emerging is retail of meaning and retail of value, in the sense of either I have a learning value, an experience value, or a service value attached to what I buy. That's where I really think that we will see a lot of retail design, and that's why and it can apply to a lot of things, right? A great retailer like our friend like Harbor Freight, awesome value, service, delivering, perfect retailer, but also Ulta. There's a service, there's an experience value to that. So it's not one to the other. In between, I mean, we saw what happened to Sears.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
It's just a website. It's just a website without the convenience of the delivery at home. So
right.
Definitely.
So one of the last things to talk about is, it's kind of interesting, and you've said this in the last article on American Builders Quarterly, was if we think we know what we're doing it wrong.
that's right.
So is it, I mean, this also probably ties into the market being so volatile, as you spoke about, and constantly having to pivot. But that's intriguing. It made me read it a couple times over and think about it. But I'd love to hear how you came up with that.
Right. Oh, yeah. And you know what? It's more like a personal journey. It's like, as soon as you think you have the process down, you just get slammed by something right you didn't saw it coming, and boom, you take it on the chin.
Oh yeah.
I'm systematically, I don't want to say unsecured, but always on the watch out what's going on. And I can give you an example that's really sizable. Like when at Harris, we do about like 300 design projects a year, give or take, right? That's a lot of projects, right? That's a lot of prototypes. That's a lot of things, right? So at the end, you're like, hey, I got that done, right? We had an end cap. look at it, and everything looks good. And we have a very steep protocol that we test things, how we go through detail and how we are a craftsman, make sure that everything works. And we skipped one of those. And for God Christ's sake, the God of design looked over us that day. Somebody went and put a packaging in and it did not fit.
Oh, geez.
We thought we knew what we were doing, and we screwed it up. You can never assume that you are above the basic of design. It's like what Eddie Menuhin was saying. If I don't play violin one day, I hear it. If I don't play violin for 3 days, my wife hear it. And if I don't play for a week, the public notice.
Interesting.
It's the same. You have to be always, everything has to be perfect.
Yeah, design, especially in the rapid world of ever-changing trends and ever-changing minds and people, when we tend to get a little too headstrong on our ideation and movement through any project, because it is such a dynamic, organic creature. Design, as you said, the design gods, they find ways to humble us. Really, truly.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, we know you're a busy man, and you have a lot going on. So again, we wanted to thank you for being on the podcast. And again, congratulations for being on the American Builders Quarterly. And I know we will be seeing much more of you on there. And to all those who are listening now, this article is coming out soon, and by the time you see it, it will be out. Yeah. So we are pre-recording just a little bit, just so we make sure we can bring Jean-Didier on. But again, thank you, sir, for being on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Yeah, of course. And again, thank you. And again, thank you to everybody out there tuning in. Again, quick reminder, if you'd like to be involved, have suggestions for us, topics to cover in the future, any feedback, anything, let us know in the comments down below. We'll see you next time.